Me now for more here on Bloomberg TV and radio is today's political panel. Maura Gillespie, founder and principal at Blue Stack Strategies and Republican strategist, alongside Jeannie Shanzano, political science professor at Iona University and senior democracy fellow at the Center for the Study of the Presidency and Congress. Jeannie, in these True Social posts, he thanked everyone for their attention to this matter. But of course, we have to pay attention when the president-elect announces policy threats like this on social media. It's like we're all back in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 all over again.
That's right. We're back to policymaking through social media. And Kaylee, that was my favorite part when he said, thank you for your attention to this matter at the end of the second post. And I actually was looking back today, and obviously he was very clear about his intention to do this during the campaign, not only saying he loves the word tariff, but saying he loves that word more than he loves the word love. He called him Mr. Tariff. So this comes as no surprise that he is saying this. And, I agree with the congressman when he talks about this as a negotiating tactic. But I do think there are differences when it comes to these three nations, how you can use it as a negotiating tactic. And, just one example with Mexico, the statement by the Mexican president today is absolutely on point. We need Mexico as a partner to address the influx of migrants and drugs across the border, because we got to ship people if he's going to ship people out somewhere. So, these negotiating tactics differ by country. And that's what I'm curious to see how he manages that difference.
I also wonder why he is attempting to manage it, at least now, in part, more 55 days before he takes the oath of office. Why not wait until it's no longer just a transition, but it's actually your administration?
Part of me thinks that maybe someone just got in his ear and said, let's talk about tariffs. And he just goes to social media and does that. But I think what we've learned from those years of the Trump presidency and when he used social media, sometimes he would say things, but not necessarily follow through on them. And so, again, talking about this as a tactic, a carrot and a stick situation, trying to get what he is hopeful to get as far as border security. And I think that's where he's using it in his mind most effectively. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that will be the case or that those numbers that he put out in his Truth Social post are the numbers that will end up being. I think it's also is to be seen as, will this impact the U.S., Canada, Mexico deal he had during his first presidency? Does that contradict her anyways? So I think that those are some things that his team will need to look into. But for right now, it's just it's nothing to really truly weigh out because it's not being done yet. And it's just his post. It's not necessarily a policy plan in action.
Well, yeah, incredible to consider that while he talked a lot about tariffs as basically being replacement revenue for the U.S. Treasury if all these tax cuts he wants comes to fruition, that tariffs also could be used potentially to address the border. And on that note, Tom Homan, who's president's pick for border czar, was actually at the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas today and had this to say about how it plays into national security. Let's listen.
You can't have strong national security if you don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where's coming in, why it's coming, all those questions, right? No one did better than President Trump. President Trump's one bad president to secure this border at a level we've never seen before. Illegal immigration was down to a 45-year low. Illegal immigration was down between 83 and 90%. Unprecedented success.
And Maura, this idea of securing the border, of putting tariffs in place to maybe do that, but also to protect U.S. companies, these are things that Donald Trump campaigned on. He's making good on promises here that the American people voted for.
That's absolutely true. And I think what the Biden administration has seen, and a lot of Democrats are now reeling from, is that they didn't take the border as seriously for a long time of this campaign, and Donald Trump seized on that. And it went too far, and I think that many in the party realized that, but it was too late. And Donald Trump is making sure that that is a priority, as he knows that between the economy and border security, the things that he won on, and that's what Republicans at large won because of those two issues. And so, and Tom Homan right there, at least the first part of what he said, we can't be the land, he didn't say it like this, but we really can't be the land of hope and opportunity if we don't have law and order, and we need to have secure borders. And because there are people here who have gone through the process and they don't want to be cut in line, essentially. And so it's really important to have the law and order, the rules being followed. And so I think that you're going to see that take shape come January.
Well, and it's a peace deal that Donald Trump will inherit when he takes the oath of office, Maura. And I just wonder how you think he may approach this differently or similarly to the outgoing president.
I think it sets the tone for Hamas to realize they don't have Hezbollah fighting that northern front. But also, I think, to Jeannie's point about what this impact is for both the presidents, history tells a different story. When we're too close to it, maybe Democrats are not going to be happy about the situation, just generally speaking. But in years to come, decades to come, I think people will look back fondly to say, yes, this is the right thing to do. And if Joe Biden can also get the hostages home before the end of his time as president, that'll also be cemented in his legacy as well. So I think this will carry on, and Trump will inherit a better situation as he gets the Oval Office in January.